shot, instead finds Owen. McCluskey's in the middle, so is Wright. Watson arriving, it was over Humphrey. Here's Wright, Flowers on his line.
Here we go, Leeds United. We're gonna give the boys a hand. Stand up and sing for Leeds United. They are the greatest in the land. Marching on together, we're gonna see you win. We are so proud, we shout it out loud, we love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
So this is a very important story, and I think that the people of Leeds really need to see this. It's a very large and important part of the heritage and the culture of people of Leeds. It happened, and we need to draw attention to it.
Marching On Together has been a project that's been going on for about a year, and just before we started rehearsal in January is when we got cleared for Art Council funding. So since then it's been rolling, and we've been in rehearsal and then gone into our production in London, and now we're here in Leeds.
It tells a story about the fall of the Leeds United hooligan scene set in the 1980s against the backdrop of the miners' strike. It's an important play in the sense that it covers a transitional period in terms of the hooligan scene changing. The old crew, the service crew, were fading out, and the very young team, the new crew, were coming to the forefront.
This is my pub. And on a match day, when I see someone I don't know...
Someone you don't know?
Leave it, Mac. Mac? Oh, shit! So this is Mac,
Yeah, that's right.
Thought you were away.
I was. Now I'm out.
The play follows the story of Macca, who's a former hooligan. He's the former leader of the service crew, and he's released from jail after 3 years. And when he's released, he finds himself going back into a Leeds that he doesn't recognise. His friends have all left the crew, and he just finds himself in this Thatcher's Britain, as it were, and he doesn't really know where to go and what to do.
We've got to stand together today. We've got to be resolved. We've got to come together, work together, and I say there'll be a victory.
The play's set in 1984, and Mac has just been released from prison. And as the play goes on, you see him, his world just crumbles, and all he wants is to get his son back. But he ends up just falling back into the only thing he knows, which is the fights and the football.
Come with us.
You what?
You would?
I'm not hanging around with a bunch of kids.
Oh, you're scared we're going to show you
I'm
up?
scared I'll have to save your bacon again.
We have people afterwards saying that I hated you and I wanted to kick your teeth in, but at the same time, I've completely understood where you were and I wanted to come and give you a hug.
Do you know how much I'm looking forward to this year? The three of us together, it'd be the first time in 4 years we'd be together.
Yeah? What do you want me to do about that?
I swear to God, if you weren't a woman!
As well as Macca having his journey about where he belongs and stuff, Tommy very much struggles with this idea of belonging. He is the underdog and he is the innocent one, but at the same time he's the kind of guy who does go out and kick 7 shades of shit out of people. Like he's into the violence, and it's interesting to see how someone who you might not expect to be like that, someone who you would see as a nice person, still finds that joy and that excitement in the fight.
When you throw a punch, you hit them square in the face. Go for the nose and break the fucker. And you'll feel jack shit.
The character is probably considered the villain of the piece. Probably the only character that doesn't actually learn anything during the play. My character especially has a very normal job. So in the week, a lot of these service crew members and hooligans had very normal jobs. Like in the play, Nathan's a trainee accountant, and you see him on the weekends doing this. And it's really interesting that these guys used to work 9 to 5 in a normal job, wearing a suit to work, and then come Saturday, 3 o'clock, they'd be at the games causing absolute mayhem.
What really interested me about Marching On Together, the play and the part, is that it was an exploration of the humans involved in the story, and it wasn't glorifying the hooliganism like maybe some of the movies do for entertainment. But it's been great coming to the working men's clubs and seeing the guys that were there and hearing some of the stories about it, people that were at Paris and were at these big fights that are mentioned, and saying it's bringing back just what it was like, and how we've captured that.
The mayor of Paris said that were the worst violence he had ever seen. Yeah, even the pig said that gave us the worst reputation in the country, and you will never see out like that again.
Never say never.
It's a working class play, and there are elements of truth, depth. It's serious, it's also light-hearted.
Well, that were a fucking waste of time, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, tampon machines and ladies.
Fucking funny, aren't you?
We enjoyed a nice month-long run at the Old Red Lion Theatre, which is this lovely fringe theatre in London. We had a lovely turnout for that. Then we took it up to Leeds for a week, touring around certain working men's clubs. We went to a couple of schools as well.
The play means a lot to a Leeds community because it resonates closer to these people. We had a great run in London, and that was great for us personally. But I think in Leeds, we're bringing it home, and a lot of the stories and situations in the play will resonate with people because they experience them themselves. They were part of this world, and it's really important to us bringing it into working men's clubs and removing the barriers for some audiences by bringing theatre to them, that they get to experience what we feel is an important story to tell.
But we're telling a story of what did happen, and these are real events, and the message is whatever you want to take from it. This is just almost a telling of history.
We are so proud, we shout it out loud, we love you.